You're listening to Improv-ing Business, where personal and business finance take a front row seat. I'm Brandon.
Hello, this is Rick.
And today we'll be talking about thinking big in a world that is getting smaller.
And smaller.
It's a small world. Whether you're an employee looking to start your own business, someone between jobs, or a business owner, the real question is, do you dream small or do you dream large?
Or do you dream at all?
Yeah, exactly. Just keep your head down. Ambien, make sure I don't dream at all.
That's right. No sleepwalking like your brothers do.
No. Someone that has been known for dreaming big, maybe one of the biggest dreamers ever, is Walt Disney. And he took a lot of big steps that to other people look like leaps. And we talked a little bit about Walt Disney and core competency before, but the guy's so prolific that we had to go back to him.
Yes. So before we were talking about his overall strategy, but this time we're going to be talking about specifics and things that happened in his company that were behind the scenes that most people don't know. My wife and I were just watching this special on the Walt Disney story, and it was pretty amazing on what that company went through to get to where they are today.
We'll also be connecting this individual story of Walt Disney with the book by Jim Collins, Build to Last, Successful Habits of Visionary Companies, which has tips in it for thinking big.
So the creation of Disney goes way, way back. Goes into the 20s. As a young man, an animator who loved to draw. And what was amazing is that how he made the leap from just being a cartoon animator or having a company that's a cartoon animator and moving it into a company that does features that happen to be animated. So his first big jump into this was in 1934, Snow White.
Before this time, cartoons were really just things that played before movies, right? You would have a bunch of little gaggy cartoons where people were jumping on trampolines, hitting their heads, and then you would see Bridge Over the River Kwai or whatever, whatever you were watching.
And what's so amazing about this biography is that Felix the Cat was one of the number one animated cartoons back at this time.
I remember Felix the Cat. He's on top of that car dealership near USC.
Well, you remember the animated cartoons? Did you have them at your time?
Not in my time, but I think I did buy an old DVD that was like Popeye cartoons and for like $1 at Target and watched those.
I know. See, I used to watch Felix the Cat in the 60s. I thought it was great. You used to go things like, the Master Cylinder.
The Master Soda?
No, the Master Cylinder.
Oh.
That was the name of his nemesis.
It was a cylinder?
Well, he looked like actually the Master Cylinder from a car, but he was a bad guy.
Oh. Cartoons were weird. They're still weird, but that's weird.
So Disney decided to take the next step, or as many saw, the leap, on making an animated feature. And it was not going to be one of those little cartoons. It was going to be a real feature that was animated. And there was a couple things that he wanted to happen there. And that is that we wanted to have, he said, something that people would be emotional about. Not only just laughing, like gags, like you said, gags, but somebody that would start to cry. That this would be so well done and so realistic that they would feel the emotions. So in order to do this, he took steps to training his artists. For example, he brought in dancers, and he had dancers dance, and he had artists watch them on how their legs moved and how they bent over.
Oh, like a life drawing class.
Right. Today, that's what people do, but you wouldn't think a cartoonist would do that because you're just doing little Felix the Cat or something like that, just bouncing around.
Especially Felix the Cat didn't have to be realistic looking because he was fighting a cylinder. It seems like everything they drew was just for convenience sake.
I know.
A little round body for the cat, a little round head, and a cylinder.
Well, wait a minute. He did have a friend called Rock Bottom.
Rock Bottom?
That's
right.
Was
he a rock?
Well, he used to eat rocks.
Why? At least with Popeye, you had J. Wimpy Wellington, who ate hamburgers, and that makes sense.
I guess so. This is why I think the way I think. This is the stuff I grew up with.
Madness.